Well, hello there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Mary Sue, and today we are doing day 13 of our Aquarius season 30-day challenge. We'll start off with the daily reading, and then we'll go to the challenge activity if you'd like to join us immediately thereafter. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you today. Grace. Is that not the most beautiful illustration? Reminding you, there's a couple of things that are coming out here. With the angel wings, understanding that your angels are always with you. You only have to ask for their guidance, their help. It's kind of like they want to comfort you, especially if you're going through a difficult time right now. There's so much chaos and conflict on the planet, and understanding that they are holding you. They are holding you in a loving energy. And then the other thing is that it's very reminiscent of that mother-child relationship, but that mothering that we can give to our own inner child. I think for some of you, whatever you may be kind of going through at this time, it's allowing yourself to comfort your own inner child, right? The fears that you may have kind of coming in. Those fears are kind of popping up, I feel, because there's so much change that you may be going through at this time. If you're feeling sudden waves of anxiety or fear, just understanding that that is part of the transformation that you're going through, and to allow yourself to just give yourself a hug, try to raise your vibration by turning on some music and dancing or whatever. But it's about having compassion for ourselves as we are on this path. Such a loving, loving energy there. Okay, so let's see what we have here. It is okay to be misunderstood. Yeah, I feel like it says perception is not always based on the truth. So there's a little bit where I feel like you've been misunderstood, or you feel like you don't fit in, or you feel as though you're on this path that's just so different, right, from everybody else. And there could be a sense of you or of your inner child feeling kind of abandoned, rejected at this time, because you feel like you're not understood. The words, I see you, right? It's kind of like your angels are saying, I see you, I hold you, I love you. And perhaps wanting that comfort at this time. So let's go ahead. Let's pull a cosmic energy card before we get into the tarot. Happiness. Happiness comes from a fulfilled heart and harmonious relationship. Yeah, I think that there's something here about having that relationship with yourself helps you to attract in other people, right? And we had that message yesterday about really being aligned and true and authentic to yourself will help to attract in other people that are loyal and true and authentic to you. You're looking for truth in your life. And that is kind of the energy with Aquarius. What is the truth? And understanding that we all have different perceptions of what the truth is. But you may be feeling like no one understands your perception of the truth or your perception of the world, and allowing yourself to kind of like give yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion, understanding it's not about conforming. It's definitely not about conforming. But when we can step into that energy of loving ourselves, loving all the parts of ourselves, even the parts, the shadowy parts, the parts that we may want to hide from other people, or we don't even like to look at ourselves, right? When we can have that energy of loving ourselves, then we will attract in other people that love those parts of ourselves, even the parts that we may be trying to progress with. Yeah, you have, yeah, this is a creative endeavor, okay, creative project. You have the family and then the transformation and the kindred spirit. Kindred spirit's been coming out a lot. It could be that you're having to transform the energy that you are expecting or wanting from other people, especially maybe family members or something. This is energy of just being held, knowing that you are loved, and you are stepping into an energy of attracting in the people that are going to really and truly love you, honor you, right? Rejoice in what you have to offer to others. Yeah. All right, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I feel like, oh, and I can so relate. I feel like since Pluto went into Aquarius and now we're full blown into Aquarius season, it's almost like seeing just how detrimental that Pluto in Capricorn energy was. Yeah, this is bringing you into, this is beautiful because sometimes I feel like a message is to let us know that we are loved and to keep going because things are going to change, right? We have the World card and Angel of Balance. Things are going to come back into balance. You are going to be appreciated and healed, okay? And you are a healer and stepping into the energy of the sun, right? I mean, you have some beautiful, beautiful energy here. So sometimes it's about understanding, yeah, that we have to allow ourselves to move through some, you could be feeling a little bit, we do have the tower here, but look at what's right after the tower, the door to happiness and healing, right? It's kind of like allowing ourselves to move, to allow the tower to come in, to make, allow the changes to occur and not try to prevent any feelings of pain or change. I feel like there's just this huge, yeah. I feel like you're. We have the Two of Cups, yeah, Two of Cups. I feel like with the Two of Wands, you're stepping into making a big change, and I'm going to say for a lot of you, really in your career sector. But it's kind of like you've been holding on, and it could be to family values, okay? Around the way that you're supposed to plan your life, okay? So it could be, holding on to conditioned beliefs, and it doesn't have to be from family, but because the excuse me, since the family card is showing up here, it could be, but it could be society or your peer group or whatever, right? It's kind of like, okay, I had this plan, right? Here was my plan. Maybe I was going to get married and have children and perhaps a spouse that was financially stable, right? It's kind of like this is maybe the plan that you had, or maybe this is the plan that you put into place. Very Capricornian energy, traditional energy, right? But now there's something here about understanding, wait a minute, that plan doesn't fit how I am transforming. That plan doesn't fit for my vision of where I want to go. Does not mean you have to get rid of this setup, right? But it does mean that you have to detach from the expectations of your family, expectations of yourself, expectations of society, of what this is supposed to look like and how it's supposed to work, right? This is Capricorn energy. This is Pluto in Capricorn saying, no, you're supposed to be married by a certain age, have 2.3 kids, have a job, a career, go on a 2-week vacation every year, whatever it is, right? You have to live in this certain house. What you're understanding is that's not in alignment with what my heart really and truly wants. Yeah, and understanding that means, right, that we have to rethink what it is that we want, and sometimes rethink how if you built something, right, it's kind of like, how does this fit into that new version, right? Because we have the transformation card. It doesn't mean that it has to end, but it does mean something has to change. Either your mindset, your belief system, you have to have conversations, right? About what it is that you really and truly want that is not working. Yeah, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you are walking away. You're seeing clearly that you have to walk away. The Wheel of Fortune is cycles, right? And that there's cycles, there's chapters, there's seasons in our life. And so it's time to allow the wheel to move. I feel like for some of you, the wheel has been wanting to move, but it means you have to allow big changes to occur in your life. So you're just like sticking to the spokes and saying, no, I don't want that change. I don't want that change. That is the devil energy. I don't want the changes that are needing to occur so that I can move forward. Yeah, because that's a difficult place to be in, but I think that a lot of us are in that energy. I'm trying to find my is it interesting? I cannot find the devil. Here it is. The devil card, so interesting because the devil card was like underneath everything. I feel like what is really fearful is kind of like deep down underneath, right? It's kind of like you're hiding it. So on the table, this was on the bottom, and all of these cards were on top, and it was kind of hiding it, right? This is the mindset, the belief, right? The attached idea that you are being asked to transform, but I feel like it's deep, right? It's not just surface, because you understand, wait a minute, I built a life, right? I literally planned my life around this certain plan. That was the plan. And now all of a sudden, I'm not feeling it. I'm disconnecting from it. And it is, I've been there, and I'll have to admit, I'm kind of going through that myself right now, right? So it's kind of like, it's not for me. And, you know, a part of it is that understanding there's a little bit of sadness or perhaps regret or something that you put so much time. This is something you put a lot of time and energy into. And you're seeing clearly, I have to move in a different direction, right? I have to choose something that was near and dear to your heart. And it does not have to be a romantic relationship or a relationship at all. It's this idea of who you were. I think that is part of it. Your identity was built on what you were trying to build, the strategy of what you were trying to build. And that's why you're wanting this hug from your spirit guides, your angels, you know, from your mom, from somebody, right? It's kind of like, I need a big hug, because everything that you thought is what you wanted is suddenly like shifting. And it is scary. It is scary. It's kind of like, understanding that your identity may have been attached to one way of living or one way of thinking that you wanted to live. And then suddenly it's kind of like, wait a minute. And the reason that has occurred is because you've had another spiritual awakening, right? You've awakened to a new level. You see there are other ways of perceiving the world, right? And it says perception is not always based on the truth. There it is right there, right? It's not based on the truth. Whatever mindset or belief that you have been building your life on is somebody's perception, but that perception may not be in alignment with what is true for you. Yeah, so interesting because, and I know it's free on YouTube. Julia Roberts' movie, Mona Lisa Smile. I love that movie. And she was back in the 50s. And at that time, an art professor at Wesley, and telling her students, you don't have to get married and have children. You know, you're brilliant. You're at the school. You're getting a fabulous education. And it was kind of like, but that was the way that they were brought up to think. I go to college, but I go to college to get my MRS degree, right? And she was opening their minds to another way of seeing the world. It could be that right now your mind is opening to seeing the world in a different way, and that can be really scary. So let's take a look. Yeah, I feel like your biggest obstacle is money. It's kind of like, wow, because it's not just the money. It's, with the 10 of Pentacles, it is the energy of a happy family, happy home, right? Financial stability, right? Feeling like you're grounded. You could feel like the earth is shaking and opening up underneath you at this time. And that is just, it's anxiety. It's scary. It's kind of like, well, if you feel like the earth is opening up underneath you, it's kind of like, so what do I grab onto? You may not yet have that perception of what it is that your heart truly desires. What is that my new paradigm? I don't know what my new paradigm is. So it's kind of like, but I know I no longer belong to that paradigm. So I'm kind of like in limbo, and that can be very scary. I'm sending you lots of love and hugs if you're resonating with this, because it is about allowing yourself to look towards the future, to trust. Your spirit guides and angels are here. Just ask for their help. Ask them, right? You don't have to have all the answers. Just ask them to take away some of the anxiety. Allow yourself to trust that happiness is around the corner. We have that right after the tower, right? We have the tower. This is your old paradigm coming down. And then we had the door to personal healing and happiness, right? And I think we have the sun here. Yeah, we have the sun, right? The happiest card in the deck. There are happy days ahead. Happiness is on the forefront, but it's kind of like, you have to go through the dark tunnel to get to it. So your advice here is, try to stay in a peaceful energy as much as you possibly can. One of the things right now would be to perhaps ground yourself, right? Spend time in nature, spend time hugging trees or sitting outside, taking in the sunshine if you can, if there's sunshine where you are. Eating root vegetables, wearing red, allowing yourself to take really good care of yourself at this time, allowing yourself to really love on yourself, right? And using meditation or soft music. When I'm anxious, I'll put on some soft meditation music, because it helps to relax a little bit. There's also certain hertzes that you can listen to on YouTube. There's quite a few channels that actually have that'll help certain chakras, because I feel like you're trying to make a big decision here, but it's kind of like, I don't know what my choices are. And see how the hat is pulled down over her eyes. It's kind of like, I don't even want to look at what the choices are, because when I see those choices, it may mean I really have to leave what I have, right? It's kind of like, I don't, you're almost like blocking the peace. You're blocking the future happiness. So you may want to, seek out some counseling, or you may want to seek out just a good friend to kind of sit and say, hey, I'm going through this. I feel like, there's a lot shifting in my life. Talking to your spirit guides and angels. Praying. Praying is the key here. But allowing yourself to seek out other people, not to get it, and it's not like you want advice, okay? That's the one thing. You may not want somebody like a friend or something that's going to tell you, oh, well, you need to do this, right? Here's your choices, right? It's kind of like you just want somebody to hold you. You just want somebody to say it's going to be okay. And if you're feeling that way, then maybe it is about saying to somebody that's in your life, there's nothing I really want to talk about. I just need a hug. Yeah. All right, let's see what we have here. Yeah. there is, look at, we have the Knight of Cups, the Justice, and the Ten of Cups. There is a justice on the way. There is balance. I feel like the karma, for the Justice card, a lot of times is also karma. But with the Knight of Cups, something that is near and dear to your heart is on the way. Right? It is. It's kind of like, don't try to control don't try to control how this is going to work out. This is surrendering to the journey. Okay, if you try to control it, you're only going to get deeper into your self-doubts. You're trying to yeah, you have the boundaries here. You're just trying to, it's almost like you could be almost imprisoning yourself in this energy. Be really cognizant, right, at this time, especially since the devil is coming out twice, of not trying to escape from this, okay? So this can be a sense of escapism. We can do escapism by getting on social media and scrolling for hours, right? Or partaking in substances that we think they do perhaps momentarily, right, calm our anxiety, but it's also recognizing that's not helping the process. So trying to detox anything that is negative, social media, even watching the news right now is, probably something you want to try not to do. Keeping negative people out of your life or distancing yourself from that as much as possible. And instead spending time, right, in nature, looking at the night sky, going for a walk, being around people that do kind of like uplift you. Yeah, because you have a fresh start coming forward. Yeah, oh, I love this. You have a fresh start that's going to bring in this sense of happiness. There is joy right around the corner. There really and truly is. Yeah. Okay, so let's pull a soul truth card for you. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. So let's see what we have here. Do I believe I am worthy? That is, that could be this, how the devil card was down at the bottom. Getting to the crux of this situation is, are you worthy? Do you feel like you are worthy to say there's something else that I want besides, sometimes when we take on the energy of following in the footsteps of what we have been conditioned to believe, whether that's from family or society or whatever. It's kind of like we're doing that to conform, right? To fit in. This is the energy of understanding that you are worthy of going in the direction that is really and truly honoring your soul and honoring your heart's desire instead of trying to fit in. Yeah, it is a huge energy of transformation going on here. So it says you are worthy, you are deserving, you are loved, and you truly are. I want you to know you are I feel the angels are here. They're really wanting you to reach out to them, to ask for their help, right? Just to give you a sense of feeling calm and loved, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and then you can ask again. Start seeing the divine beauty within you and go out and claim the life you have dreamt up. Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. Yeah. I feel like there is this energy where you may feel like you want to fit in, you want to go with the plan that you initially had or the plan that you've had since childhood, right? And then it's all of a sudden you're realizing this is not the plan that I want for me. I made a wrong choice a long time ago, right? I made a wrong choice, but now now what? What do I do now? And that is kind of like the energy that is here. But it's allowing yourself to follow your heart, going within and asking yourself, okay, what is it that I really want? And then really allowing yourself to heal any wounds around feeling like you're not like you're not worthy of having what it is that you really and truly want. Yeah. For a big goal or dream you have, ask yourself, do I feel worthy of this? I'm reading that and I realized we had this the other day. Yeah, today's mantra, I am worthy of it all. And you are. That is the energy of understanding that your perception, remember we had that perception card, your perception of what is happiness, right, is different than everybody else's perception of happiness. So it's allowing yourself to say, it's not saying all these other people are wrong. It's just saying that doesn't work for me. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to work on my happiness. And it doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to them. It's just understanding I'm going in a different direction. Yeah. I feel like we have a lot of this coming forward, and it really does. Allowing yourself to see how your concerns about, fitting in, there is a little bit of that with the Ten of Pentacles, fitting in, having longevity, right? Stability in your life is what's causing you to stay in an energy of conforming to what other people want for you. Yeah. If it helps, I think, remember we had that hot air balloon thing with all the hot air balloons, and we got the message to rise up into with the hot air balloons, right? I feel like when you allow yourself to detach from the plan that you have maybe had for a while and allow yourself to surrender to the journey, your balloon is going to float up and you're going to come in contact with other people that are also on your journey, right? Your soul tribe members. So, and I just feel like, I know it's hard. It is hard, but it is about allowing yourself to surrender and saying, I trust, and allowing your intuition, not your fears, guide you as you move forward. And that is where your angels and spirit guides and ancestors, ascended masters, all can help you on this path. All you have to do is ask. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Much love and light. If you're waiting for the challenge, it'll start right after this. Much love and light. Bye for you. Bye for now. Well, welcome in for the Aquarius season 30-day challenge activity. I wanted to remind you, first of all, that if you have not already, you can download the free planner. The link is in the description box below, completely free, and it's good for the whole 30 days. And then to also make sure you're logging in those activities that you're doing that help you to tap into your joy every single day. Yesterday, the weather where I live was actually nice. I got to get out and have a nice long walk. So that was my joy yesterday. So I'd love to hear in the comments what you are doing. So one of the things too is to understand that as we're going through this, when you're putting into the planner, like the day's theme and then, perhaps the journal activity, you can also journal in a separate notebook, but allowing yourself to keep that all in one place, I feel like it is a really kind of giving us a strong storyline of where our future is going. So let's talk about today's theme. So we had the energy of grace here and happiness. But I also think that we need to add compassion, because when I look at this, right, it's about compassion. It's about allowing ourselves to feel loved by the universe, to feel loved by the other people in our life, and to step into an energy of loving, of mothering, of nurturing ourselves. It is really and truly going to be important as we're moving forward, as these changes are occurring. The one thing to keep in mind is that when the tower is here, and we have the tower card, let me see, when we have the tower, and it does feel here like a big paradigm shift is occurring for us. So when we're going through that, one of the keys is to really stay grounded. So really being cognizant of doing good grounding exercises, spending time in nature, hugging trees, right? Walking barefoot or gardening without gloves on, something where you're really touching the soil is great if the weather provides for that where you are. You can also eat foods that are grown underground, like potatoes, carrots, turnips, all of those. Wearing red and it's February, the month of love. So love on yourself, right? And wear red. And it really is about allowing yourself to take salt baths or, use crystals, whatever you have found in the past, just being really cognizant of doing that on a daily basis. And then I also think if you spend 5 to 15 minutes on your joyful activity each day, that will help too. As we go through this huge change, right? This huge paradigm shift of what we thought the world was, our world, the world we wanted to create for ourselves is shifting into something else. And not to be too concerned if you're not really sure what that new looks like. But maybe perhaps if you're spending time in nature, allowing yourself to just get dreamy with that, right? What would you like to have more of in your life? And we had that the other day too. So let's talk about the journal activity today. Once again we had do I believe I am worthy? So asking yourself, what do you think is really holding you back? Ask yourself, where are you a little bit disconnected or discontented? Both of those, okay, in your life. Where do you feel like, what relationships or situations in your life are you feeling like, I just don't have the same vibe that I used to have? And it could be something that you really and truly enjoyed at one time, and now you're just feeling a little bit disconnected from it. And what areas of your life are you feeling really discontented with, right? Like it's kind of like, yeah, this has to change. There could be some where you're feeling like the energy isn't the same, and others where you're kind of like, yeah, this has to go. But, right? But there's the big but. I'm concerned about financial constraints, right? I'm concerned about this is a huge change, right? Say, for instance, the thing that you're feeling the most discontented with at this time is your job. And you're kind of like, okay, well, I can't just quit my job because how am I going to pay my bills, right? But it's about allowing yourself to decide, is this job for me or not, right? And if it's not for you, that's fine. Doesn't mean you have to quit today, because we do have to pay our bills. But it is about understanding, okay, now if I'm not going to have this job, then where am I going? What kind of job would I like? And if you're not sure what that is, then it is about allowing yourself to maybe work with a life coach or a counselor or somebody that can help you to start pinpointing what direction you want to explore. Once again, it doesn't mean you have to shift from this to that overnight, but it is about, okay, I need to allow myself to put more time and energy into where it is, dreaming about where it is I want to go. And the only way you really can get there is not to think about it. You have to get into your head, because remember the Two of Swords, this is being caught up in your head, trying to figure it out logically. That would be the old Capricorn energy, right? This is now much more of a dreamy energy, especially since the North Node is in Pisces. So in allowing yourself to say, okay, I'm going to spend some time daydreaming, maybe every day. If you have 5 or 10 minutes, you could daydream every day, or putting some time together, a chunk of time, maybe on the weekend or something, where you can sit for an hour or two and start really kind of daydreaming. What is it that you want? And asking your angels and spirit guides for some help. And then being open to seeing what's kind of popping up. What's popping up on the internet, right? What's popping up on my YouTube feed over on the side? Understanding that they're trying to help you to understand better the direction that you're meant to go in. But if you're caught up in the anxiety and the fear of how these changes are going to affect your life, then you're blocking that, right? Or you're just not open to seeing it. They can still be sending you the messages, but you're just kind of like, nope, pulling my hat down over my eyes. I don't want to see it. So I feel like there's a little bit of a two-part thing here, really figuring out which parts of your life are working and which parts aren't, right? And then allowing yourself to start dreaming. Instead of this, what would I like? And it's not about 10 years from now, what would I like? It's really about what changes do I want to make in 2025 that'll get me on the road to being able to make those big changes. It's not necessarily long term. You can think long term, but then it's like backing it up, because I feel like with the tower showing up, that if you don't start taking some steps moving towards figuring out the direction you want to go in, the tower will come in and take it out for you. Take out those things that are not in alignment with what your heart truly desires. And you probably already know what needs to go, right? You probably have already allowed some things to go, but this is really stepping into that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be relationships and situations or careers in your life. Sometimes it's just a mindset or a behavior that we have outgrown, right? That no longer fits where it is that we want to go. All right, I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Much love and light. Bye for now.